Are you looking for a personal blender you can actually use every day? Not one that's too big to take out in time and too annoying to clean? Maybe something quick for busy mornings, small enough for your desk or gym bag, but still powerful enough to handle frozen fruit and protein shakes. The problem is that once you start looking around, it can be difficult to tell which one is worth buying, especially when there are so many options out there. So to help you choose the right one, we spent thousands of dollars testing nearly 20 of the most popular and best-selling personal blenders on the market. These models range from around $30 to more than $100, with some including extra cups and accessories, while others keep things simple with just the basics. And to get a full picture of how these blenders perform, we put them through 4 different tests. They include frozen fruit smoothies, protein shakes, green smoothie, and ice crushing. We also use a mix of ingredients from lighter items to more demanding ones. Even so, all of the tests were still based on one of the most common uses for a personal blender. This means the result would better reflect what using them is really like in real life. And because we tested them carefully and consistently, what you're seeing here is more than just a quick first impression. Of course, a good personal blender isn't just about power. That's why we also look at how comfortable it feels to use, as well as how easy it is to assemble and clean. So, in the end, here are the 4 best personal blenders we highly recommend. First up, the NutriFit. Next, the NutriBullet Pro 900W. We also have the Reveuse. And finally, the NutriBullet Ultra. I'm Tina and welcome back to our Shouldit Blender series. Number 1. NutriFit Personal Blender, best to buy. One of the first things we noticed about this blender is the design. It has a sporty look, stands out visually, and feels a little nicer than you might expect at this price point. You get a 700-watt motor, 2 16-ounce cups, and 2 spout lids, which makes it very convenient for grab-and-go use. It also keeps things simple with just one bit, and the blade is made of hardened stainless steel with up to 4 prongs, which you won't usually get in this category. As for its performance, this NutriFit shows you don't really need a full-size blender to get good results. It blended super fast in the protein shake test, where it produced a chunk-free mix in only 50 seconds. Frozen fruit wasn't an issue either. We got a really smooth drink in around a minute. And of all the blenders we tested, this was one of the few that could break down almost all of the kale, spinach, and celery in only 20 seconds. If ice is on your list, this blender can take care of it too. In our test, the ice came out light, fluffy, and almost snow-like. Just keep in mind that the cup is narrow, so don't overload it. Ice needs space to move around. Giving it a few quick shakes can also help everything blend more evenly. So, across all of the tests, it finished with a performance score of 9.6 out of 10. As for durability, the NutriFit has been very reliable in our testing. It's mostly made of plastic, so it doesn't feel especially premium, but after several months of use, it still performs like new. It's also very compact, about the size of a champagne bottle, so it fits easily in a cabinet and doesn't take up much counter space. It's light enough to carry around too. Some people may find it a little loud, but at around 98 decibels, We think the noise is pretty normal for a portion-on blender, so it shouldn't be a major issue. There are also rubber feet on the bottom to keep it steady while blending, and a cooling fan in the back to prevent overheating. And since both cups are dishwasher safe, cleaning is really easy. The only thing to know is that it isn't hands-free. It only has one speed, and you have to keep pressing the cup down while it blends. So at number 1 is the Ninja Fit, which we rank as the best buy. If you want a well-rounded portion-on blender without spending much, this one fits the bill. Number 2, NutriBullet Pro 900W Upright Pick. This one features a 900W motor. It does cost more than our first option, but in return you get a sturdier build, a more premium 6-prong blade assembly, and an easier overall user experience. It also comes with extra cups and to-go lids, so you can blend your drink and take it with you right away. Compared to the Ninja Fit, the larger cups here give ingredients better circulation, so blending feels smoother and require less stirring or shaking from us. In the protein shake test, it made a smoothie drink in just 40 seconds, which was the fastest result we saw. It also blended so well that there were almost no chunks left behind. The smoothie tests were just as strong. In less than a minute, it gave us a thick, creamy smoothie with a very satisfying texture. There were still a few tiny bits of raspberry skin and strawberry seeds, but they didn't take away from the drinking experience at all. Its ability to break down leafy greens is also very impressive. After only 20 seconds, the drink looked very smooth, and when we strained it, only a small amount of residue was left behind. It could produce an even better result if we blended longer. For ice brushing, this one delivered the fluffiest result in our lineup. A few pieces of ice still remain solid, but it didn't look like the blades would be able to wrap them. So all things considered, this NutriBullet Pro stands out as our top performer and clearly deserves its 9.8 out of 10 rating. We also really like how easy it is to use. It still only has one speed, but thanks to the lock-in design, you don't have to hold the cup the whole time. The finish is also very polished, and both the motor base and cups hold up well without scratching easily. The motor is strong, so some noise is expected, but it never felt too loud in our test. It also feels very stable on the counter. The silicone fit do a great job of keeping it in place even when blending tougher ingredients. It even comes with removable lid rings, which make the cups easier to sip from directly. And while it's slightly bigger than some other portion-on blenders, it's still compact enough for most kitchens. The only thing we didn't love is the short power cord, which can feel a bit limiting. But if you want something simple and you can spend a little extra for added power, this is an upgrade you won't regret buying. So at number 2 is the NutriBullet Pro 900W, which we rank as the upgrade pick. Now, before continuing with the rest of the review, we would like to be clear that this isn't a paid promotion. Every portion-on blender we test is self-funded to ensure unbiased evaluations and honest ratings. If you find this video helpful, a like and subscribe would be a huge support. And to our subscribers, thank you, we really appreciate you. Number 3, Reveuse Best Value Portion-on Blender. This blender costs a lot less, so naturally you aren't getting a professional grade model here. Even so, it's still well equipped for the price with 2 blending cups and lids, a 4-prong stainless steel blade, and a hands-free design. In terms of performance, this is a lower power blender that works best for lighter, simpler jobs. In our protein shake test, It needed nearly a minute and a half to fully blend the oats, and even then, a few almond bits and dry blueberries were still left behind. It did better with frozen fruit, finishing our smoothie test in 1 minute and 20 seconds, which is actually pretty good for this price range. The smoothie came out nice and smooth, but we did have to shake the cup a few times to help things along. It also did surprisingly well with leafy greens. We found it can blend them down in just 20 seconds while leaving behind only a small amount of pulp. That said, when it came to ice, it simply didn't have enough power. No matter how much we shook it, the cube stayed mostly intact. So, across all 4 tests, its performance score came to 6.8 out of 10. Just so you know, it doesn't have the same premium feel as more expensive blenders, and most of the components are made of plastic, but for the price, it still feels decent. We also like that both cups seal tightly with the included lids, so they are easy to take on the go without worrying much about leaks. However, due to the slim, narrow design, cleaning can be tricky, especially near the bottom. Also note that these cups don't do well with hot water or dishwashers, so hand washing is a must. So, at number 3 is the Reveuse, which we rank as the best value portion-on blender. For the price, we think it's a great option for anyone mostly blending softer ingredients and not too focused on getting the smoothest possible finish. Number 4, NutriBullet Ultra, best powerful portion-on blender. This is the kind of portion-on blender that feels like a stove without being hard to use. It's the most powerful option on this list at about 1200 watts. It also has a stylish design and is small enough to sit neatly in any kitchen. But what really makes this blender different is how you use it. When you place the cup on the base, the machine lights up and lets you choose between 2 blending modes. It's simple, but it feels much more modern than the usual hold-out style. You can also see the upgrade in the materials. The rabbit extractor blade is made to last longer. The cups are made with Triton Renew material, which uses 50% certified recycled content, and the 5-year limited warranty helps it feel like more of a long-term buy. But beyond the stylish design and smart features, this blender also brings a solid amount of power. We started with the protein shake test and found that it handled the mixture with very little help from us. In around 1 minute and 10 seconds, we ended up with a smooth drink with only a few very small bits remaining. It did even better in the frozen fruit smoothie test. From the start, it wrapped the fruit and blended it down steadily. Once the mix thickened, some pieces got held up briefly and slowed the flow, but a quick shake of the cup fixed that easily. After about a minute, the drink came out thick, creamy, and refreshing. The rinse test was another win. After straining, there was only a little leftover fiber, which tells us the greens were processed quite finely. That said, ice crushing wasn't a strong point. It could break down some of the cubes, but not evenly enough, and the final texture was still too coarse. So, taking all the tests into account, the NutriBullet Ultra achieved a performance score of 8.7 out of 10. As for the design, this is one of the models we enjoy the most. Even though it's intuitive, it doesn't feel basic. It actually feels more well-designed than most portion-on blenders we've tried. The 2 blending options are also a nice touch. They give you more control and make it easier to get the result you want. It may not be the quietest blender, but the sound is never overwhelming or distracting. We also really like that it includes an extra blending cup. For gym goers or anyone with a busy routine, that's a really useful bonus. So finally, we got the NutriBullet Ultra, which we rank as the best powerful portion-on blender. Whether you're rushing out the door in the morning or just want something easy to live with, this blender will never let you down. So this is our list of the best portion-on blenders along with a quick review on their qualities. If you're interested in buying any of these blenders, we'll have the links in the description for all of them. We also put together an article and a video on how we ran our testing, so those are down below too. If you enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our next upload. Thanks for watching Shouldit and see you in the next one. Bye!